Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath. It's so good to share energy with you today. Come on in. Thank you for inviting me in. Let's begin. This is an important message for my empaths and my earth angels specifically. It's going to be so important for you to not lower your worth or your value. It is something you will be tested with, whether that's in relationship, whether you are in business, or whether you are dealing in a workplace situation. Perhaps people will always try to extract out of you whatever they think they can. And my sweet ass empath heart has a story or three to tell today that will be examples as to why this is not the way. We are out here all learning, all living, all practicing, and all trying to be better. And what I want you to understand is that there are times when your emotions can sometimes influence a decision when you know better. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Because there but for the grace of God go any of us, and including me. There but for the grace of God go me. So I'm going to be vulnerable, and I'm going to share with you my stories. I have three about why this is not something you should do, and talk about why or how you can avoid this if it's happened to you, or how you can forgive yourself and move forward. There have been 3 times specifically in my professional career. Now, we can talk about relationships. That's a whole nother story too. If I have a couple of those, maybe that's a separate video. But today I want to focus on the financial part. But it is applicable across the board. There are 3 times that I have ever lowered my prices. Okay? It took me a long time to believe my worth. It took me a long time to build my reputation with the lines that I freelanced with. It took me a long time to see essentially how they valued me, because they were charging crazy, I thought, but maybe not so crazy as time has gone on. And so I definitely went to battle with myself and had people try to undermine me, etc., etc., etc. All the things that will happen when you're finding yourself. And I dealt with this too regarding catering, because I catered before. I had a catering company before I ended up doing the work that I'm doing currently, and that was such a nightmare, because people always wanted a little something for free, and they always wanted to give you the opportunity to cater everything for free. So you really had to fight in the trenches. But the reason that I want to tell you this is because of dark psychology. A little bit of Robert Greene comes to play here. People will get away with what they will get away with, or try to. They'll also try to walk you down so that they don't have to fully compensate you. But I'm going to demonstrate with each one of these stories how opportunistic and devoid of any real character each of these people were, and how when the shoe was on the other foot, it was not something they wanted to not only experience, but it's not something that they would even consider. So that's why I'm saying, if someone's trying to like haggle you down on whatever your worth is, whether that's in love, relationship, or family, whatever your situation is, please note that they know exactly what you're worth. They're just seeing, are you going to go along with this? Because if I can get it for cheaper, I sure will. And they're also getting away with whatever, and they will manipulate you in whatever way. We'll start with example number 1. This is a West Indian client that I met many years ago when I was doing a wedding. I was officiating a wedding out of the country, a destination wedding. And she came up, and she was super love bombing, and she was super like, you're just, I can tell you're a seer and you're whatever, whatever. Well, someone at the wedding told her that I read, okay? And so someone else told her, and so then she like sidles up to me at the dinner and all the stuff. So we begin. Now here's the thing, in the West Indies the currency is different, money is different, and it doesn't mean that they're not making money. It just means that I understand that sometimes things can be a little bit harder. So I was so delighted, and this was years and years and years and years and years ago when I was like maybe first beginning. So I was so excited to get and I want you to notice the theme here, because it was a bit of new, fresh excitement on my end because things were new still to a certain degree. So I was so excited. She was like, I would love to be a client of yours. I would love for you to read for me. So we begin. And I am factoring in what I think she can manage, and then she's like trying to talk me down and whatever, and I'm like, okay. And then she sends some referrals my way, and so I had put in my mind, well, I'm only going to do this for a year because the price was just, it was so unfair, really. But I thought, I'm so grateful that she sent other clients my way. I just read today for someone that she referred to me, and whatever the case may be. But, you know, I feel bad about her situation, and this, that, and the third. Okay, guys, let's fast forward. Fast forward, she's here in this country. She's in America, and we know family mutually. So she's staying by my family. Yeah, so she's staying by my family. And so I get a call from my family member, and they're like, you know, she's here, can, you know, come down. So I go down. I know her granddaughter, and I want to go take her granddaughter shopping and whatever the case may be. So we do that. And the first thing that her granddaughter asks me, she says, can you, this is relevant. I'm not just being messy, guys. I'm going to tell you why this is relevant. She was like, can you buy my grandmother a suitcase? Can you buy her a suitcase? And I was like thinking, well, gosh, I wish you would have told me before I came because I have an extra bag at the house. I would have bought it, XYZ. And so, and I thought that was really weird. The kid's like maybe 10, maybe 11, okay? And I was like, that's odd. So then I'm asking my family member, hey, do you have a suitcase? Like, can we get her a suitcase? I want to make sure everything's okay. I want her to get back, whatever the case may be. Now, I took the granddaughter shopping. What I didn't realize is that my family member also took them food shopping as well, so they could buy their snacks and treats for the week, food to eat and cook. And she's staying with my family member. And my family member has a convalescent mother staying there as well. And whatever the case may be. And I'm demonstrating this so you understand the character of people that want something for free. So, like, I think the family member said, like, stipulation. No, not even stipulation. Just, like, if you cook, can you share some food for my mother? Because I'm going to be running an errand, of what she didn't do and this whole thing. So I was just like, oh, this is so weird. This is getting so awkward. Well, I still am like, oh, well, you know, things happen. And I understand money, it's tough and things are hard and whatever. Well, the woman wanted a reading. And I had started to absolutely, you know, when she was here, I didn't have time to do the reading for her or whatever because it wasn't pre-planned or whatever. So she goes to someone wherever, okay, that the family member knew, somewhere out in where my family member lived. And so, which is a few hours away from me. And so they go for a reading. And my family member relays to me that she pays her full price for the reading. And it's not even just about the fact that she hadn't been paying me, but it's also the fact that there was issues regarding money, obviously, because her granddaughter's like, hey, can you get my grandma a suitcase? Long story short, she pays full price for the reading. She packs up all of the food and stuff and like freezes it and takes it home, which is a thing that can happen. It's a thing. If you're West Indian, you know, we send parcels home, we take food home, we'll like bring fish over in our suitcase, like, you know, it's just a thing. If you're from a different country, you guys know. If you know, you know. But the point was that she didn't share with a family member, and me and the family member had gone above and beyond to try to accommodate, and we're like, you have money all along? There's a theme in all three of these stories. Okay, so she's like, so she had money all along. And so I was like, oh my goodness, this whole time, here I am doing the most, bending over backwards. Is it her fault that I gave in and that I was so eager and so grateful initially all those years ago to have an international client? I've had international clients, but to have met one in person or whatever the case may be. So, that was, you know, a lesson, because she was fully capable of paying full price for the reading, and also had that cash in her pocket of which she could have purchased a suitcase. So while me and my family member are like running around and trying to figure out how to make this work, she could have made it work for herself the whole time. Story number 2. We're going to tie all these together though. I had someone who was older as well, and she was like, "Oh, I need a senior citizen discount. Like, I just can't, I'm working on this, like, fixed budget, but I really, really, really need, a reading. I really need this," and whatever the case may be. Again, back in the day, these people were grandfathered into me that was still evolving. That's why there's only been 3. So I was like, okay, I really want to, be of service here and whatever the case may be. So I read for this person for years. This one was a true lick, okay? I read for this person for years. And she's always got a lot going on. I'm not going to even get into that, but there was a lot of money stuff. And I was paying attention to that. I always pay attention to when people have money stuff because I want to know what's really the motivation or the impetus or where it's really coming from. But nevertheless, a lot happens in that situation, but she connects with another reader, of which of course she pays fully. But one time she slips up and she says something to me, how she uses her elderly woman shtick to get people to pay less or to get whatever discount she can get. And I'm looking at her as she's saying this to me, and I'm like, does she forget that she did the shtick with me? Like, she did the same thing? And so she's laughing about how she hustles people by being like, "Oh, I'm just an old lady." So the next story involves I'm just a baby. But this one is, "I'm just an old lady. I just can't make it. I just can't do it." We had a situation where she wanted to hustle me for something else too. And I was like, now I'm clocking her and I'm like, I know you think I'm stupid, but okay, we're just going to pay attention to this and see how it goes. Then she starts making like backhanded compliments about me being a big tipper and, like essentially you've got it. Okay. And also she's trying to build some business thing going on for her, whatever the case may be. And I'm listening to what she wants to charge. And it's way more than me, which is fine. That's fine. I never judge anybody. If I think you are worth what you are worth, I'll pay it happily. So I just thought it was really interesting because she was happy to hustle me and happy to be entitled and to take advantage in whatever way. And it was a game that she liked to play. And if I was the dummy that was going to let her do it, then away she was going to go. She was going to go through with it, and she loved it. So that was another thing. That was the second one. The third one is someone I met from the YouTube streets. And they solicited me because they needed narc recovery coaching. And I was able to help extract them out of a pretty toxic relationship and help them manifest a actual marriage. God bless. But she was like, I just can't, it's just a tough time and whatever. And whatever the case is. And so we did some coaching, we did some work, and I was so happy because it was back when I had first started YouTube, and she was probably one of the maybe third or fourth clients that I had gotten from YouTube. So you see the theme there, my not naivete, but definitely gratitude, which was used against me in every way. So I'm working with this person, and towards the end of us working together, she is wanting to jack up her prices, which is due to part of the coaching we'd been doing about her knowing her worth and her value. And I watched her do this because my angels don't ever let me miss a beat, but I watched her jack her prices up, and it was more than what she was paying me, meaning what she wanted to charge for her services. She ended up, the price that she ended up moving it to was more than what for all those years in my eagerness to be of service and to help. It was more than what she was paying me for our time frame or session or hour or whatever it was. And also along with it came a lot of other incredibly nasty and entitled behavior. The theme is the same for all three people. Opportunist in every way. And so I realized, I was like, man, I just got played. I got played again because At first, she was just so, so sweet, but that's what people do when they want you to believe what they want you to believe. Remember when I told you about the guest that sidled up to me at the wedding and the sweet old lady that just couldn't. But man, each one of them were nightmare on wheels in their own way. And they were avaricious and greedy, and they would see nothing wrong with their behavior because it's like, I got away with what I got away with. The woman that I was telling you about, the sweet old lady, would be apoplectic if she weren't paid. She was obsessed with money and making more, getting more. It's the person and what was a contract and whatever the case may be. And the same exact thing for story number 3. So, like, even more so than both of them combined, she was probably the most obsessive and the most on demon time regarding that. So I availed myself to each one of these people. So I am your cautionary tale. And they thought they could play in my face. They thought it was sweet. They thought it was fun. They thought it was a joke. But they had no problem going for what they wanted to, unapologetically, charging what they felt like they deserved. And it was superseding whatever, well, except for case 1, obviously she wasn't in business or whatever, but it was superseding whatever they felt like I was worth. And really, it's whatever I felt like I was worth. So you have to take responsibility for being in those situations. It's only happened 3 times, and 3 different people stretch out over years. But still, the lesson is so clear. People will get away with what you allow them to get away with. That third person had a friend that was in the metaphysical practices as well. And she charged even more than what I do for her services, of which I think she was worth every penny. I was able to get a reading from her, and it was an Akashic Records reading, and it was so fantastic for me and opened up so many portals. And she brought through dragons of protection. She didn't know that what she was doing when she did it, but she did real work. Even, it doesn't matter. See, sometimes when someone's mutual, or, well, it's funny, I imagine the third person would consider her a mutual. I would not consider them mutuals because I could see a clear difference in distinction and gifting. And I'm not just saying that because of the money thing. When I got the reading from the girl, I was like, oh, you're the real deal. And opportunists, that's another lesson, will glom on to people that are real so that they can boost their standing, so that they can appear and seem to be as on par with people that are actually brilliant or truly gifted or whatever the case is. I had no problem paying what I paid that person because I realized that she put work and dedication. She had overhead. She had a beautiful space. She really invested into maintaining her life and booking clients and doing the rest of it. And even if that person didn't quote unquote like me, because when you're dealing with people will side with the people that they know. We had a really interesting exchange. That's another lesson for another day, where I could see her I saw the light coming on in her eyes in a certain way. It was really interesting. But no matter how she felt about me personally, considering, I realized, or whatever smear campaign happened afterwards, what I realized is that she should protect herself. I was like, gosh, you're actually really gifted. But people that are opportunists will grift it. They will find people that are, what they will mirror back to you as like-minded. I have a video coming up here about the wizard Liz and that whole situation and how Landon mirrored, but that's exactly what it is. Someone will come in and they will study you and they will sidle up to you and they'll do whatever love bombing that they can. But when the mask slips, as it did with each one of them, you'll see the truth and you'll see how dedicated they are. Again, I have no problem paying for something if it's worth it, or if I really think that you are, consistently, you can make a great impression, but can you actually hold up and year after year, day after day show up that way? And anyway, things fizzled with each one of those people very quickly, which is what will happen when you're dealing with any kind of weird opportunistic or love bombing energy. But that is how I played me, guys, and that's why I wanted to share that story with you, because each one of them could have done more, were fully capable of it, but they were going to get away with what they could get away with. And if I allowed it, that was my lesson to learn. I have no bitterness about any one of them because I learned such a valuable lesson, but I will never forget each one of them revealing their mask in their own ways about what they believed the third one deserved to be paid, about what they believe they should get away with, the second one, about what they could get away with quietly if no one was looking when they were being sneaky, the first one. They each had their way of hustling me and then being just so very surprised that I was like, wow, this is wild behavior. Now, with everyone, you don't always necessarily have to do any major confrontation. It is your intel. You know, I talked about some shamanistic stuff when I was doing my sacral bath that happened, and I got a spider bite, and I did not show my hand as I was in spiritual warfare, because you don't always show your hand. Now, I was dealing in that situation with someone who was telling me, like, no, everything's fine and whatever, but spiders are showing up around people that I knew things weren't fine with, but they were saying everything was fine with. And I was like, okay, well, you clearly are not as intuitive as you may think you are, because you're missing it. And it doesn't matter what people can conjure or cook up. My magic is the magic that comes that I don't even want. Sometimes, guys, trust me, this is not anything I would ask for or pray for. Manifesting spiders is not what I would consider like a good time, but it's shamanistic work that I signed up for, and they saved my life in their own way. Nevertheless, the reason that I bring this up is because the spider bite that's here on my forearm was a small one, but it was letting me know that I was dealing with a person who was sociopathic to me, is what it felt like, right down to aliases. I was like, oh, this is really like the movies. How fun. But the thing about that is when you get a spider bite, most bites when you get them will like dissipate, recede back into your skin after the swelling goes down. The spider bite on my arm feels like Braille. The two fang bites are still there, and it feels like Braille. It's something that you can feel even if you can't see it. It's something that is all about your sensibilities, and that's what the spider was trying to warn me about. They were saying, we don't like this energy, and we're going to inoculate you in your own weird way. And the thing about it is I didn't see it. Sometimes these people will play right in your face, and you may see it eventually, but not initially. When that happened to me, I didn't know I was bit by the spider, but when I saw reflectively the bite, I realized that my angels were like, here we go. You got some energy that thinks they're incredibly bright, and so we're going to have to do some things that don't come in a book. We're going to have to conjure up things that can't be cooked. Yeah. And so that's exactly how they handled that for me. Your ability to perceive people's reality. And you'll say, well, Monette, you didn't perceive. No, what I had with each one of them was the put upon feeling, and the put upon feeling, and also anxiety. I did with each one of them, like, oh God, I don't really want to give them whatever, but I felt my empath energy. I felt guilty. I felt sad. I felt involved. I felt like I wanted to be of service and I wanted to help. Specifically with the person that I did the coaching for, she literally, I remember her saying to me, why would I talk about this or strategize something with you? And I'm thinking, fascinating, because it's what you literally begged me and solicited me to do. And it actually worked out for you. That part. So people will be so ungrateful and then act like and that's the thing, guys. Remember, I always say people get drunk in your energy. So a lot of little lessons here, but the one that's the big one is, if someone thinks you're an opportunity, 2323 and the clock and angel number there for you guys. Someone thinks you're an opportunity, they're going to try to ride it till the wheels fall off and take advantage of you in every way possible. And they will look at you crazy when you've discovered that they're a fraud, or that they have no scruples, or they have no whatever, and that they're just after whatever they can get. And they will laugh in your face, girl. And they'll be like, it's so funny. You know? So it's not anything with any of them that you have to be like, oh, it was a lesson for me. And I'm glad I learned it at this stage in my life, because this is not where I'll always be. But I learned it, and it stuck with me. So it doesn't matter what anyone says, or what their ailment is, or how old they are, or how dangerous their relationship is they need the counseling with. I'm not going to second guess myself and undermine my prices, because God showed me, and things come in three. God shows me that each one of them, with their own unique story from different regions, from all over the world, each had their own way of thinking I was just a dumb girl. And it did pay off for them. But their ingratitude in the end is what sealed their fate. That's how their karma is doled out and met. Because that's just how it works. So I don't get into that with any of them. I just moved on and made the account of it. I remember the moments and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is fascinating. This is fascinating. The mercy that they each wanted me to have for them, they had for no one. They had none. They were scrupulous, to say the least. And they would do it again if someone else would allow it. So when the next time someone's like, do you really need to go out on a date, or do you really need whatever you're asking for? I'm talking about business here, but whatever you're asking for, yes, you deserve exactly what you deserve. People will try to sell you less or give you less or undermine you if they can get away with it. And people that feel insecure around you or have less than you will do the worst of it. And I have been done bad one time in my life by someone, or a couple times actually, by someone that was not on any kind of, it's not about the level of like stuff. I'm just talking about like, are you just a decent human actually? And people that are insecure will they will dog you out, and it will be the one that you're like, I shouldn't even really give them a chance, or whatever the case may be, and then they'll be the ones that show you their ass to kiss completely, ones you weren't even attracted to, all of that stuff, y'all. So don't sell yourself short. If you want something, wait for what you want, get what you want. If you think your price is your price, stand on what you say. Do not let people sway you in any way, because I promise you, they will pay someone that they respect exactly what it is. I bet you the third person, if she's ever got a reading from that friend, had to pay her the price that the lady's asking. But in that case, that lady is worth every penny. But but don't undermine yourself or let people undermine you. And do not think that if you take or give what they're wanting you to give, that they would do the same for you. Each one of those people were assholes in their own way. And it wasn't until they felt like they couldn't get from me anything else, that's when they were like, fuck your couch, essentially. And I'm quite generous in so many ways, but I realize that that has been a handicap for me. So, lessons finally learned. But unfortunately, I had to get burned. So, learn from me. And if you have to go through it, then it's okay. But please understand that people deserve to pay exactly what you say they should pay. Do not waver. There will never be another discount. There'll never be another nothing that's not already dictated or in my website. I learned such amazing lessons from those shadowy lights. They have light. It was flickering. It was dim. But, you know, that's how people will do you if you allow them to, because they're battling with their own demons within. All right, guys. So good sharing energy with you. Hopefully you learn from me. And your price is your price, and let it be. Okay? Come back and join me next time, guys. We'll continue to evolve together.